The Dollar Tree is a treasure chest full of opportunity and ideas for prepping. The Dollar Tree is king when it comes to prepping. Let me show you what I mean. All right, so our $5 challenge at the Dollar Tree. I got this little toolbox, and this is going to be our medical supply box. And I want to show you what we got. They allowed us to have 2, but I only got 1 of the alcohol prep pads. We need some alcohol in our medical kit. They also started coming up with these, and these are amazing. They actually are from the US, and they are really good. I really studied about these essential oils. $1. So we got the lavender essential oil, and we also got the anti-anxiety essential oils. This was at the Dollar Tree. And then we got scissors. It's always good to have scissors in your medical box. So we're going to put a pair of scissors in there. We're going to put our alcohol pads. And then if you remember what I got at the thrift store, we're going to put our gauze in there. And our adhesive. So there you go, my friends. And that is our $5. And there you go, my friends. It's the $5 challenge for a medical supply box at the Dollar Tree. So the Dollar Tree can be your friend when it comes to survival. We have a window of opportunity where we can go to the stores once again. So you need to research and need to find things that you can use. There's lots of different ways that you can make your own medical toolkit. It's all about your preference and the things that you need. But remember the simple things. Remember things like scissors. Remember things like glue and tape. How about matches? The things that you would have used maybe 30, 40 years ago. What about those can openers that aren't electric? All of these things are things that we can buy at the Dollar Tree, and you know what? It could save you a lot of heartache and headache in the years to come. If you take $5, maybe once a month, and stock up on some things like this. Because in the state of an emergency, the #1 thing you're gonna need is medical supplies. And you're not going to be able to run to the grocery store or run to the store to get them. Take care, everyone. This is just a frugal tip, a survival tip from my house to yours. And now we're going to talk about one of my favorite herbs, and that's sage. I call it the herb of Thanksgiving. Let's talk a little more about sage and why that's so important. A lot of people ask me questions about dehydrating and for dehydrating food. Now I do have a playlist on dehydrating, and I'll share that at the end of this video. But I mainly dehydrate herbs and things like that. So I dehydrate herbs to make all kinds of things, edible things, non-edible things. But today what we're looking at is sage. So this is sage, and what is sage? Sage is the scent of Thanksgiving. And sage is a big herb when you're making stuffing and things with chicken or turkey. Now you got me hungry. But we're gonna pick some of the sage today, and we're going to dehydrate it. Sage, like most herbs, come up every year. All of my herbs come up yearly except for my lemon verbena. And living on the northeast, it gets very cold, so my lemon verbena does not overwinter. Also, my rosemary does not as well. Now, I've tried to overwinter it. It just does not seem to work inside the house, and it doesn't overwinter outside. But that is just for my area where I live in. But I shared with you how you can dehydrate foods using your car, how you can dehydrate foods just outside. But you want to make sure when you're dehydrating things outside that you cover them, because we don't want flies getting in there, and or bugs and spiders and all of those wonderful critters that come out at night. And so what I will do is I will So what I would do is I would dry my herbs and have them covered, and I'll show you that. I love having my greenhouse. I think the greenhouse came down in price a little bit. I think it's back down to $70. But when I got my greenhouse, it was a product review, and I actually got it for free. And it was selling at that time for $58. $58 for an enjoyment for a couple years. To me, it's worth it. And I did get a new greenhouse cover on mine. I really wouldn't have had to, but I did because I use it so much. And so I use my greenhouse to dry my herbs as well. So we got a lot of sage today. As you can see, I'm not cutting it all down because we want to keep it, and it will grow back over and over and over again. Your herbs, you need to harvest your herbs, because if you don't, they'll go to flower and then go to seed. Harvest your herbs. I can harvest my herbs maybe 6, 7, 8 times this year. Just depends on the year. So harvest your herbs. Here's chives. There's some chives in here I need to work on. Harvest them. But label your herbs so you know what they are when you harvest them, so you know. And after a while, you'll become accustomed to the smell of them and know exactly what you have growing and drying. It's the sage. Now we have to cover it. Now, if you have it in your house, you don't need to cover it, but because it's outside here, I will cover it. Now, you can wash the sage, you can wash your herbs, and I probably will wash them, but I'll just show you how I do this for now. So there you go. And that's how you harvest sage. Sage is good for a lot of things. I know some people will take sage and they will actually make little sachets with them. Sage is good for antibacterial. Some people will make sage and then they'll burn it and then let the fumes in their house to help kill germs. I don't know a whole lot about that kind of thing. I use sage mostly for making stuffing mixes, homemade stuffing mixes. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you guys tomorrow. I will cover it. Now, you can wash the sage, you can wash your herbs, and I probably will wash them, but I'll just show you how I do this for now. So there you go. And that's how you harvest sage. Sage is good for a lot of things. I know some people will take sage and they will actually make little sachets with them. Sage is good for antibacterial. Some people will make sage and then they'll burn it and then let the fumes in their house to help kill germs. I don't know a whole lot about that kind of thing. I use sage mostly for making stuffing mixes, homemade stuffing mixes. All right, everybody, take care. We'll see you guys tomorrow.